we see in social media, which all of us make use of it, that the algorithms that you see on Facebook and stuff basically feed you more of what you've already liked. And so we're creating bubbles. And there's mountains of concern in this room and everywhere else about the sorts of bubbles that we're creating. And how do we start? I mean, obviously we're not going to go, maybe we can go to Mark Zuckerberg. Maybe Richard could go to Mark and say, hey, let's change these algorithms.
I think this is an interesting point, because in our wild ancestry, in our primitive state, we lived in a village, 150 or so people, and we met the people we knew, and opinion was just shared within this group of 150 people. And now that's broadened out to the whole world, except that in a way it isn't, because as you say, we live in bubbles, and so we each live in our village, but our village is now distributed spatially, geographically, and it's no longer enclosed within the village walls. It's a kind of virtual village, which is interesting, and it's a real discipline. We have to sort of try shake off the bubble mentality, the village mentality, and reach out to other circles that we wouldn't normally encounter.
And the degree to which we're in bubbles, I mean, I've never appreciated it as much as since the 2016 election. And this is a point I've made on my podcast a few times, but I find it continually astounding, so I'll make it again. I realized, I had heard that smoking cigarettes, in the States at least, it might be true in the UK as well, but smoking cigarettes in the States correlates with many different variables. And also the communities of people who smoke and don't smoke tend to be quite separable. And I realized that, with a shock, that Hitch was the last person I knew on Earth who smoked. Which is a measure of just incredible isolation socially. And I've done very little to remedy it, I must say. But it's, who knows what else. I mean, in fact, we know a little bit about what else segregates with that isolation. And my complete bewilderment that we have President Trump is a symptom of that isolation, I think.
It amuses me because, as a former smoker, I know that you're constantly being shoved outside. So you end up outside with a group of other people who are already pissed off that they're having to go outside to smoke. So now they're in this angry headspace, and then they begin to share and connect. So maybe smoking doesn't just kill, but smoking creates insular communities that are sharing their anger and vitriol outside the door.
Yeah, they're all weighing along the platform, along the pavement outside all the shops and all the places, there's a sort of long ribbon of the smoking community, this haze of blue smoke.
Just to be clear, we're not blaming all the world's problems on smokers or Trump on smokers.